Get your 3-week quick start today.
We're getting a clearer picture tonight of the human costs of the lockdowns that were imposed on this country for more than a year. Suicide attempts and ODs, drug ODs among young people skyrocketed. More than 90,000 people died of drug overdose in just 1 year during the lockdown, and there are many more effects. Dr. Russell Saraski is a neurologist. He's one of the few people who have studied this carefully, and we are honored to have him on tonight. Doctor, thanks so much for coming on. What do you think? I mean, give us a snapshot of the effects of these lockdowns on people.
Well, Tucker, any physician who's actually been practicing medicine over the past year, not epidemiologists on TV, but doctors who are with their patients day in and day out, will tell you that what we're seeing are that these lockdowns have caused far and away more suffering and death than the virus ever could. We have over 90,000 drug overdose deaths in just 1 year during the lockdown, more than any period in history, and we have skyrocketing rates of depression, anxiety, suicide, and addiction in children and adolescents.
I don't understand how, I mean, these are publicly available numbers, how people are not apologizing and covering themselves in ashes and sackcloth and ashes and repenting of what they did. I mean, they caused so much suffering. Why is no one saying this?
Well, you know, there's a number of ways that we got here. Social isolation, completely unnecessary school lockdowns, stress in the home, financial stress, lost jobs. You know, the irony of this,
Yes.
Tucker, is that children and adolescents, the ones who never are at any meaningful risk from COVID, getting it or spreading it, are the ones who are suffering the most from these government policies, not the virus.
Well, I wonder what the behavioral and psychological costs are. If you keep kids in a state of fear for a year, what does that do to them as they get older?
Well, Tucker, you know, despite all of this, I'm still very optimistic moving forward. I think we can right this ship if society can get back to normal as soon as possible. But it is very important for parents to look out for some key behavioral issues with their kids, such as if they're spending a lot more time in their room isolating. Have their sleep patterns changed dramatically? Are they more irritable than normal? If you see any of these changes in your kids, you need to bring it to your PCP or your pediatrician so that they can help guide you as soon as possible.
I wonder, the drug ODs, 90,000 you said, that's high enough that we can attribute at least some of that to the lockdowns. I mean, you're confident of that.
Absolutely. Most of the addiction treatment services that were available to patients previously were taken away. You know, when the government decided to shut churches, they locked away all the 12-step meetings across this country that so many depend on.
That's right.
And they also were separated from their doctors who helped treat them with medicines. So, you know, the whole system fell apart. It was awful. But I am positive that we move forward. We can turn the ship around. We just have to get back to normal as soon as possible.